Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And on today's Going In Raw news brief, we've got more details on the latest WWE COVID outbreak, the latest on live crowds being at the Royal Rumble, and we preview tonight's Impact. But first, is Ric Flair coming back full-time? Larson, what's in the news?
Well, first off, Ric Flair seemingly turned on his daughter last night on Raw, aligned with Lacey Evans, and on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer was asked by co-host Brian Alvarez if Ric Flair was going to be a regular on WWE TV going forward, to which Dave said this, transcripts, courtesy WrestlingNews.co, quote, "Yes, by the way, it's like whenever they bring Ric Flair back, the first week always does well. That doesn't mean you bring him back every freaking week. It's not going to happen that way, but damn, they're doing it. Yeah, he's doing something with Lacey Evans."
I mean, COVID issues. Well, number one, any idea that Charlotte's going to do anything like remotely serious between now and Mania seems to be off the table, because this is going to be a Rumble match between her, or is this going to be a Rumble story, like a women's Rumble story?
Well, I
mean, told out there.
If it's going to be a women's Rumble story, I mean, they're going to have some blow-off singles match at some point, whether that's on a pay-per-view or on Raw. On Raw, I know,
or Chamber maybe.
But I mean, I would imagine the point of this is to help get Lacey Evans over. Short term, it's the feud with Charlotte to give her something to do. You think she's women's tag champ. That should be a path to do something. As we'll get to later, Asuka, according to PW Insider, was at the Thunderdome yesterday. Why they're not utilizing her better, I don't know.
You know what's sad about that? Sorry, not to interrupt you.
But
fine. Asuka being there and them not utilizing her somehow, even as like running commentary, Asuka's commentary on Lacey Evans hitting on Ric Flair, it would have to be gold.
Yeah.
Pure gold. And her needling Charlotte about it could be really good if they just, got their act together. Because that could have been funny.
That could have been funny, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Short term, it's a story for Charlotte. Is it going to go much past the Rumble? Doubt it. Long-term benefit to Lacey Evans depends on the creative for it. Who knows?
Yeah, I see this less as, it gives Lacey Evans something to do. This is, look, number one, I think the story is great. I really think it's funny. I really do. It's hilarious. You gotta remove yourself from the fact that, as we're about to talk about, Ric Flair is like a super old guy, and COVID has infiltrated once again WWE.
He's up there in years, but also he's the last few years he's had some serious health issues.
Yeah, he has. So I don't know. Maybe he's super old. Maybe he can get the vaccine. Maybe they can pull some strings or whatever. I don't know. But if you remove that from it, it's pretty damn funny. And Lacey Evans, I've always felt is pretty talented. They've just always been kind of confused on exactly how to use her best. And I don't know, this, it reminds me of the old Anna Nicole Smith stuff. It makes me laugh. Ric Flair's super old, getting under Charlotte's skin. I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. Will it, draw ratings? Maybe it'll draw ratings in the way that like the Lashley Lana stuff did, just for spectacle's sake. It's possible. Ric Flair is still really entertaining. He's still really good at what he does.
Yeah, he can be, yeah.
It's beneath Charlotte to do this. But, whatever. It's something for her to do. So, yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Okay. Moving on. So, of course, yesterday, WWE announced that WWE champ Drew McIntyre had tested for COVID-19. And they usually do Wrestling Observer Radio right after Raw, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So, in last night's Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer mentioned this, and they have a full report on Wrestling Observer's website. The report is from Wrestling Observer that 3 more superstars, so 4 in total, including Drew, have either tested positive for the virus or are recovering from it. Wrestling Observer notes that there is, quote, 1 big star who just returned from having it, 1 wrestler on SmackDown who was scheduled for last Friday and then was taken off the show, and 1 NXT wrestler and adds that, quote, others will likely be kept away from TV due to contract tracing. And as I mentioned earlier, PW Insider had a report today that several notable names were in attendance for last night's Raw, but weren't used, including Asuka, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Nikki Cross, and Humberto Carrillo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, we've often said this. There is responsibility in talking about this stuff publicly. Then there is my own private curiosity where I start looking at the SmackDown notes and seeing who wasn't around. So I'll refrain from doing that.
Yes.
Right now as we're recording this.
Yes.
But it is you find it interesting though that WWE, they announce, they make a big, maybe it's because he's a top guy. He's like the top guy on Raw.
Yeah.
They say, hey, he's tested positive for COVID, Drew McIntyre, but they don't, go to any lengths in saying, hey, these other people.
I wonder if it's that, but also he was already advertised in advance for the main event of Raw. Drew was against Randy. Right. And then if suddenly he was just, pulled from the match with no explanation, that might spur speculation. Who knows? I mean, it's probably, it's probably not wise to speculate on the inner workings of how they handle that stuff. It's just an interesting case where that's the first time they have actually publicly acknowledged it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, we mentioned this on yesterday's show. WWE has often been, I guess, a microcosm of, the larger landscape when it comes to COVID. You go away for the holidays, you mix it up with people, and you come back and, some people are going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this works. And then there's that new scary monster strain, which is like super transmissible. So I don't know, man. It's a bummer, but hopefully, nobody gets a serious case of it.
Yeah.
You have to question the wisdom of having Legends Night right on the heels of the holidays when it's the worst. But Vince McMahon, he's always, regardless of the situation, he's always been a very reactionary person.
Oh, yeah.
As much as Triple H would love to, toe the line of we do things 10 years in advance. No. Vince reacts to stuff. He's not proactive about things, and it's no different here. Nobody thought to say, hey, all the science is expecting the CDC saying, hey, the holiday season is going to be really bad coming off that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe don't have a bunch of 50-plus-year-olds in the building.
Yeah. Speaking of people in the building for WB shows, we've got some news on the Rumble. Steve, what's this all about?
Yeah, man, it looks like we've got some bad news. Are you teasing a Rumble participant, Larson? Bad news? Talking about the Rumble? No. I think one of our friendos, like Cultaholic or somebody, had like a top 10 list of some sort of video, and the headline was, surprise entrance, and it was Wade Barrett there. I was like,
that's what we should do for Power Rank today. 5 surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble.
Great idea. But anyways, speaking about the Rumble, we got some bad news for those hoping the WWE would have a live audience at this year's Rumble, because WrestleVotes tweeted today that, quote, the fact of the matter is WWE views the stress, manpower, and complete undertaking of removing the Thunderdome for one night as just too much to make it all work. Sad but true, the wait continues. I'm sure that all that stress, manpower, and complete undertaking, removing Thunderdome to bring in fans, probably would not have been as stressful had we not been in the death throes of a horrible pandemic. So yeah, I imagine they probably would have done that if it would have been publicly okay to bring fans in.
Yeah.
But it's not.
But it's not. No way.
It is. It is publicly okay for you guys to come join us for our Impact stream tonight on the twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, hot off the heels of Genesis. We've got Impact Wrestling confirmed. Rich Swann versus Carl Anderson.
This is actually a pretty solid card here.
Yeah, I know.
Main event, Rich Swann versus Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson.
Kenny Omega, he's set to appear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've also got Kimberly versus Taya. Should be a good match.
Yeah. Moose versus Matthew Palmer. This isn't one of those, can you last 3 minutes with Moose? This is a standard wrestling bout.
So didn't Matthew Palmer already have his 3 minutes against Moose situation?
He did. He won. That was last week. So this is a standard match.
Oh,
because
okay.
He won last time. Of course, Willie Mack came out and distracted Moose as the time was ticking down. at the conclusion of the match last week. So now Matthew Palmer, I guess, has earned himself a one-on-one bout, a standard wrestling bout against Moose.
Of course, Moose, now the new number one contender, Rich Swann, gave him that opportunity in exchange for Moose not murdering his friend Willie Mack at Genesis. Also, what's his name? Cody Deaner versus Tommy Dreamer.
They're just billing him as Diener on the match card.
Oh, it's just Deaner because he's undergone a change.
Because he's a heel now, right? Now he's just Diener.
It's like I think now he's like trance Deaner. So he's like in this like murderous trance. Yeah. And he's going to take out ECW hardcore legend Tommy Dreamer.
Innovator of violence, yes.
Innovator, exactly. Also, Rohit Raju and Chris Bay are taking on Manic and Suicide.
Is TJP going to be under both those masks?
I thought it was going to be Caleb Conley under both those masks. It's probably going to be one under one and the other under the other.
Yeah, no, I know. TJP won the X Division title as Manic, but he was Suicide at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think Hogan unmasked him, or Austin Aries. I don't know. I forget who it was. Somebody unmasked him.
Austin Aries was Suicide at one point too, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
I think so.
I know Daniels was, but most recently it's been Caleb Conley. I thought Caleb Conley was under Manic. It was TJP.
I thought it was TJP who won it. Who just won the X Division title as Manic at the not Genesis, but the show before that.
I just knew that it was Manic. I didn't know it was TJP underneath the mask.
Oh yeah, I thought so.
At which pay-per-view? The one we didn't see, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I've got Impact Plus now, dude. So
oh wow,
I'm gonna send you my credentials, man.
So yeah, these are the wrestlers who have been under the Suicide mask: Kazarian, Daniels, Kayoshi, TJP, Gresham, Caleb Conley, and Zachary Wentz.
Gresham was Suicide, really?
In 2016.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's what Wikipedia
Learn something
says.
New every day. I bet Scoops would have known that. Hey, shout out to Scoops, by the way. He's recovering from COVID and pneumonia.
Yeah.
I'm happy that guy's still with us. That's a deadly combination right there. Man. Woo. Scoops, tough as nails.
So, TJP is currently X Division champ. They kind of have Suicide and Manic as one entry here on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I thought they were like the same guy, but we're going to get like the split. Okay, that's cool. Well, we'll find out tonight during our Impact stream. It'll be like when we were watching Triple Mania. We're trying to piece together who the Avengers were. And then we've also got Tennille Dashwood versus Rosemary. That should be a good match. I like both of them. They're good. Yeah. Dude, Impact has so many really good wrestlers on their roster. Like you're always in for good matches here. I can't wait till fans come back for Impact, dude.
Same.
Anyways, hopefully you guys will join us at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern for that over the Twitch. So thanks for and Enforcer's going to be there. He can maybe give us some more inside scoops about the car crash that he did a review on today. There in Crenshaw and with South Central, wherever he is.
Something like that, yeah.
Compton and Crenshaw or whatever. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.